Hello aspirants, a very warm welcome on the YouTube channel of Analyst IAS. So in this today's BRIT series, we will be discussing polity questions which came in the year 2018 of prelims. We have already discussed our previous subjects like geography, history and environment and ecology. Now we'll start with today's topic. So total questions which came in 2018, they were in 12. So let's start. Question 1. Consider the following statements. No criminal proceedings shall be instituted against the governor of a state in any court during his term of office. The emoluments and allowances of the governor of a state shall not be diminished during his term of office. Which of the statements given above is are correct? Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So a correct answer to this is C. Both are correct. Both statements are correct. Article 361 of the Indian Constitution say, like the President give protection to the governors, no criminal proceedings whatsoever shall be instituted or continued against the President or the Governor of a state in any court during his term of office. Now, Article 158 says that conditions of a governor office provides that the emoluments and allowances of governor shall not be diminished during his term of office. Question 2. Which of the following are regarded as the main features of rule of law? Limitations of power, equality before law, people's responsibility to the government. 4. Liberty and civil rights. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So, your correct answer to this is C. 1, 2 and 4. Rule of law includes absence of arbitrary power, equality before law, primary of individual rights, primacy of individual rights, and statement third is wrong because it should be that the government is responsible to the people and not the people should be responsible for the government. So your correct answer is C. Option 3 says consider the following statements. The Speaker of Legislative Assembly shall vacate his/her office if he/she ceases to be a member of the assembly. Whenever the Legislative Assembly is dissolved, the Speaker shall vacate his office immediately. Which of the statements given above is are correct? Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is A, which is 1 only. Second statement is wrong. Justification is, usually the Speaker remains in the office during the life of the Assembly. However, he vacates his office earlier in any of the following cases. The cases are if he ceases to be a member of the Assembly, if he resigns by writing to the Deputy Speaker, if he is removed by a resolution which is passed by a majority of all the then present members of the Assembly. Such a resolution can be moved only after giving a notice of 14 days in advance. Statement 2 is incorrect because the Speaker holds the office from the date of his/her election till immediately before the first meeting of the Legislative Assembly after the dissolution of one to which he/she was elected. She is eligible for re-election on the dissolution of the Legislative Assembly. Although the Speaker ceases to be a member of the House, she does not vacate his/her office. Question 4 says, which one of the following reflects the nicest appropriate relationships between law and liberty? Option 1 says, if there are more laws, there is less liberty. B, if there are no laws, there is no liberty. If there is liberty, laws have to be made by the people. 4, if laws are changed too often, liberty is in danger. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is B. It was a statement given by John Locke in his second treatise of civil government. He wrote that where there is no law, there is no freedom. क्योंकि जहाँ कानून नहीं हो सकता वहाँ स्वतंत्रता कैसी? So law must be there ताकि लोग freedom enjoy कर पाएं. So the correct answer to this is B. Question 5. In the Federation established by the Government of India Act of 1935, residuary power was given to Federal Legislature, Governor General, Provincial Legislature, Provincial Governors. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is B. Residuary legislative powers were vested in the Governor General under the Government of India Act of 1935. इसी एक्ट में सब्जेक्ट्स भी रिजर्व्ड और ट्रांसफर्ड हुए थे. सो रीड अबाउट दिस एक्ट आफ्टर दिस. Question 6. With reference to the election of the President of India, consider the following statements. The value of the vote of each MLA varies from state to state. the value of the vote of MPs of Lok Sabha is more than the value of the vote of the MPs of the Rajya Sabha. Which of the following statements given above are correct? Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is A, which is only A. Why is it so? Statement 1. The value of vote of MLA is based upon the population criterion. Population of each state has a different value. Therefore, statement first is correct. The value of vote of each MP is same whether it is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, and statement 2 is a little unclear on whether it refers to individual MP or the MPs as a whole. But then the term the value of the vote and not votes makes it clear that the examiner is not asking you the total number of the votes. So MPs of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha are to be understood as a single group here and not as a plural entity. Statement second was wrong. Your answer is only A. Question 7. Right to privacy is protected as an intrinsic part of right to life and personal liberty. Which of the following in the Constitution of India correctly, appropriately imply the above statement? Article 14 and the provisions under the 42nd Amendment of the Indian Constitution. Article 17 and the DPSPs of state policy in the part 4. Article 21 and the freedom guaranteed in the part 3rd. Article 24 and the provisions under the 44th Amendment of the Indian Constitution. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this question is C, which is Article 21. It comes life and liberty, personal liberty, these all come under the Article 21. Privacy is a constitutionally protected right. Recently एक data privacy bill भी आने वाला है, which emerges primarily from the guarantee of life and personal liberty in the Article 21 of the Constitution. Elements of privacy also arise in varying context from other facets of freedom and dignity recognized, and they are guaranteed by the fundamental rights which are in part 3rd of the Constitution. With reference to the Parliament of India, which of the following parliamentary committees scrutinizes and reports to the House whether the powers to make regulations, rules, sub-rules, bylaws, etc. conferred by the Constitution or delegated by the Parliament are being properly exercised by the executive within the scope of such delegation? Committee on Government Assurances, Committee on Subordinate Legislation, Rules Committee, Business Advisory Committee. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is B. Committee of Subordinate Legislation examines and reports to the House whether the power to make regulations, rules, sub-rules, bylaws delegated by the Parliament or conferred by the Constitution to the executive are being properly exercised by it. In both the houses, the committee consists of 15 members and it was constituted in the year 1953. So the correct answer is B. Question 9. Which of the following led to the introduction of the English education in India? Carter Act of 1813, General Committee of Public Instruction 1823, Orientalist and Anglistic controversy? Select the correct answer using the code given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is D. All of the statements are correct. It ordered the European, this company, East India Company, to spend 1 lakh on the education of Indians, and these other two, General Committee of Public Instruction and Orientalist and Anglistic controversy, in which Anglistic supported the English language and Orientalist supported education in the local language. So this is about it. Question 10. Consider the following statements. The Parliament of India can place a particular law in the 9th schedule of the Constitution of India. The validity of a law placed in the 9th schedule cannot be examined by any court and no judgment can be made on it. Which of the statements given above are correct? Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is A, which is only 1 is correct. Once a law is enacted and included in the 9th schedule, it gets protection under Article 31B and is not subject to judicial scrutiny. The 9th schedule was introduced by the former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to keep certain laws, particularly those on the land reforms, beyond the scope of judicial review. And the mandate of the 9th schedule is to prevent judicial scrutiny, but in a landmark ruling in the I.R. Coelho versus State of Tamil Nadu case in 2007, the Supreme Court of India ruled that all the laws, including those in the 9th schedule, all will be open to the judicial review if they violate the basic structure of the Constitution. Basic structure doctrine comes from the Keshavananda Bharati case, 1974. The Supreme Court judgment laid the laws placed under the 9th schedule after this date shall be open to challenge for the court. So this was about it. A. Question 11. Consider the following statements. In the first Lok Sabha, the single largest party in the opposition was the Swatantrata Party. Second, in the Lok Sabha, a leader of opposition was recognized for the first time in 1969. Third, in the Lok Sabha, if a party does not have a minimum of 75 members, its leader cannot be recognized as the leader of opposition. Which of the statements given above are correct? Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So, your correct answer to this is B. Statement 1 is not correct. The Congress party won 364 of the 489 seats in the first Lok Sabha and finished way ahead of any other challenger, the Communist Party of India, that came next in the terms of the seat. They only won 16. Statement 2 is correct. In 1969, an official leader of the opposition was recognized for the first time. However, it was given statutory recognition in 1977. Statement 3 is also incorrect. The leader of the largest opposition party, having not less than the 1/10 of the seats of the total strength of the House, is recognized as the leader of the opposition in the House. So only B is your correct answer. Question 12. If the President of India exercises his power as provided under the Article 356 of the Constitution in respect of a particular state, then the Assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. The powers of the legislature of that state shall be exercised by or under the authority of the Parliament. C. Article 19 is suspended in that state. D. The President can make laws relating to that state. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So, the correct answer to this is B, which is the powers of the legislature of the state shall be exercised by or under the authority of the Parliament. Provisions in the case of failure of the constitutional machinery in the state, the President on the receipt of the report of a governor recommends basically of the state or otherwise is satisfied that the situation in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, President may be proclaim and assume to himself all or any of the functions of the government of state and all or any of the powers vested in or exercisable by the governor or anybody or authority in the state other than the legislature of the state. D. Declare that power of legislature of the state shall be exercised by or under the authority of the Parliament. So your correct answer to this was B. This was all about today's video and session. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay tuned with the next.